Today we are going to read Billy and Blaze, written and illustrated by C.W. Anderson. When my boys were little, they loved horses. They loved to wear cowboy boots and cowboy hats, and so they loved these books because they wanted a horse and they knew all about how fun horse adventures would be. So if you know a little boy who loves a horse, you will love these stories. Billy was a little boy who loved horses more than anything else in the world. You can see he's pinning up pictures of horses on the wall. Whenever he had a chance to ride some farmer's horse, he used to pretend that it was a prancing pony. One birthday morning, his father said to him, "Out on the lawn, you'll find your birthday present." And there stood a beautiful bay pony with 4 white feet and a white nose. Billy had never been so happy. No boy was ever more proud and happy than Billy when he went out for his first ride. Right from this very start, Billy and his new pony seemed to like and understand each other. After thinking for a long time about many names, Billy decided to call the pony Blaze because he had a white blaze down his face. Before going to bed that first night, he took a flashlight and went down to the stable to see if Blaze was all right. Already, Blaze seemed to feel at home, and he was glad to see him. As soon as it was daylight, Billy was up cleaning and brushing Blaze so they could take a long ride after breakfast. It was not long before Blaze would come galloping whenever Billy called, for he knew there would be a carrot or a piece of sugar for him, as well as much petting, and he too enjoyed the rides through the woods, where there was much to see. One day, when they were riding along a path through the woods, they came to a tree fallen across the path, and Blaze jumped quickly over it. Billy was so surprised he almost fell off, but it was very exciting, and he decided to try it again. Sometimes do you ever end up doing something you didn't know that you could do, and then after you try it, you're like, wow, I was good at that. That was fun. I'm going to try it again. It seems like that's what's happening with Billy and Blaze. So when they came to the next small fence, he leaned forward and gripped with his knees, and over they sailed. It felt like flying. One day in the woods, they heard a dog howling as if in pain. They rode to the spot, and there they found a dog caught in a trap that had probably been set for some wild animals. Looks like the dog's foot is caught in the trap. See, they're going to get him out. Although the dog was badly hurt, he seemed to know that Billy was trying to help him. He stood very still while Billy opened the trap and set him free, and when he limped along home with Billy and Blaze. When they got home, Billy bandaged the dog's foot and gave him something to eat. He was very hungry. The dog seemed to have no home. No one could find out where he came from, so Billy's father let him keep him. He named the dog Rex. And wherever Billy went, there you were sure to find Rex too. Rex and Blaze were great friends. He went down to the stable to see Blaze very often and usually slept there with him. One day, when Billy and Blaze were out riding, they saw a sign on a tree telling about a horse show and a silver cup that was to be given to the best pony. "Let's try for it," said Billy to Blaze. See on the tree, horse show, silver cup, prizes for the best pony. When Billy got to the show with Blaze and Rex, and saw how many fine ponies were there, he began to be afraid that he might not win the cup after all. But one pony after another knocked down the row when he jumped, and Billy began to feel that Blaze might win after all. He knew that he and Blaze would often jump over fences almost as high as these. At last, Billy's turn came. Blaze jumped perfectly, and Rex jumped beside him. Everybody clapped and cheered. Rex was not surprised. Rex was not supposed to jump, but everybody liked to see a dog jump so well. Did you notice again? I seem to do that reading strategy a lot, where I read a word and then it was like, that one's not quite right. So you read it again to make sure it makes sense. You have a fine pony, said the judge as he gave Billy a silver cup almost too big for him to hold. A man came out and took a picture of all three of them. Then the judge pinned a blue ribbon on Blaze's bridle with first place printed in gold letters on it. The grass and trees looked very green, and the birds sang very well as the three went home. Blaze seemed to know he had done well, for he carried his head very high and pranced all the way. Billy was as happy as any boy could be, for Blaze's supper that evening he bought many carrots and much sugar, and Rex had the finest bone in the house. Billy set his silver cup in his room. Every time he looked at it, he was very proud of Blaze. His pony was his best friend. Blaze, best pony at the horse show. There's all these books. And we'll read other stories on other days. They all have fun stories about Blaze. This was when Billy first got Blaze. And the other stories are all about adventures that the two have together. And it's pretty fun to get to know a character in a book, and then you can keep getting to know that character as you read more books in that same series. A series is when there's a whole bunch of books in a row, and there's a book that maybe starts to tell the story, and then there'll be other books that follow that have the same character, and they start living different experiences and have different adventures, and it's fun. It's just like us. We have different adventures as we live our lives, and it's fun to read about stories about people, and one after the other in a different book about the different fun things that they do, and when it's like we get to experience them with them.